Students, welcome to my chemistry channel. So students, in the last video lecture you have seen about the inductive effect. Okay, we have dealt with the inductive effect, that what actually the inductive effect is and what are the different types of inductive effect. So in the today's lecture video I am coming with the same inductive effect. We will deal with the applications of the inductive effect, where we can apply the inductive effect. Okay, now let us start with the applications of the inductive effect, students. So in the applications you are seeing here, first application is the stability of the carbocation. Means we can determine the stability of the carbocation with the help of what? With the help of inductive effect. Second application is the stability of the free radicals. Means we can also determine the free radical stability based on the inductive effect. Third is the acidic strength of the carboxylic acids and phenol. Fourth is the basic strength of the amines. Basic strength means the amines are basic in nature, that you know, right? Whenever even the carboxylic acids are also acidic. So if we are writing the acidic strength or the basic strength, means we are talking in comparative. Okay, means we will do the comparison, that which is more basic in terms of their strength, basic strength, that this is more basic, this is less basic, like that. In the same way the acid strength, which is more acidic, which is less acidic. And the last one is the use in the substitution reaction. Already that you know substitution reaction, that is the SN1 SN2 reaction. So we will also see the inductive effect used in the substitution reaction, that with the help of inductive effect we will come to know which reaction will be fast at the faster rate, okay, which will be slow, which will be fast, right? So we will see one by one in detail, students. Now let us start with the first one, that is the stability of the carbocation. Now, so one by one we will study, students, all the applications, and it is very easy, and you know question basically asks from this only, applications. You have to study the applications of the inductive effect. Now in the first one, this you know about the carbocations. Carbocations means what? Carbon carrying the positive charge. Okay, now this is electron deficient in nature. Electron deficient means it needs electron. One thing, students, you just keep in this mind and keep in your mind, and you can remember it, that carbon is not meant to carry any charge, neither the positive charge nor the negative charge. It must be neutral in nature, right? If it is holding a positive charge, then also it is unstable. If it is holding the negative charge, then also it is unstable. Okay, because carbon wants to be in what? In a neutral state, because neither it is electropositive nor it is electronegative, right? Even the carbon with a free radical, one electron, which we call known as a free radical, this is also what? This is also electron deficient species. Okay, means in both the cases, if you see, we need to give what? We need to give the electrons to this carbon. To what? To neutralize the positive charge, to make it neutral. Okay, if it is having the carbon, for example, it is having a negative charge, to make this negative carbon stable, how we can neutralize the negative charge? We can neutralize the negative charge by taking out electrons from it, because negative charge means what? Electron excess, or you can say electron rich. Okay, so if we take out the electron from this carbon, what will ultimately happen? This negative charge magnitude will decrease. Then at last it will go into the neutral state. Neutral means without any charge. It should not have a positive, and it should not have a negative as well. Okay, so now let us see this stability of carbocations. As I told you that carbon bearing the positive charge, we call it as a carbocation. Cations mean the positive, right? Now, how we will determine the stability of this carbocation based on the use of inductive effect. Now, if suppose I am writing here, for example, I am giving you 3 instants. Suppose this is the carbon bearing a positive charge. Here I have R, or I can write here directly CH3. Here also CH3. Here also what? CH3. Right? Now in the next I will write CH positive, CH3, CH3. Here I will write CH3 CH2 positive. At the last one more I will write CH3 positive. Right. Now I have taken 4 different carbocations. Okay. This is the tertiary one, 3 degree, right? You can write 3 degree over here, 3 degree carbocation. How? Because this is the carbocation, the carbon carrying the positive charge, and it is directly attached to the 3 carbon atoms. Correct? So this is known as what? 3 degree carbocation, you can write. Carbocation. Now this is again in the same way. This would be what? Carbon bearing a positive charge, having 2 carbon atom directly attached to it. This is what? This is a 2 degree carbocation. In the same way, this is what? 1 degree. And this is what? This is the methyl carbocation. Clear? Here also you can write carbocation. Right. Now, if we have to determine the stability of the carbocation, stability means which among the following will be more stable. So this also, the stability order, we can find it out by the inductive effect. You already have studied the types of inductive effect. In the last lecture video, students, I have dealt with the inductive effect, that is the basics of inductive effect, that what is inductive effect and what are the different types of the inductive effect. If you have not seen that lecture, do check that lecture video. You will have the more understanding of it, inductive effect. Now, already we know that here to this carbon atom there are 3 groups, that is the methyl, 3 methyl groups are there, right? And what are these methyl groups, students? These methyl groups are having which kind of plus I or minus I? That is the, of course, plus I effect. Okay, this all the 3 methyl groups, they are having the plus I effect. Now here there are 3 in numbers, right? And plus I effect means what? They are electron donating groups. They will donate the electron, or you can say electron releasing group. And the other name for it also you can say electron pumping group, means they will pump out the electrons, right? In this case you will see that 2 degree carbocation, it is having the 1 and 2, means 2 alkyl groups are there. Here we have directly linked to this carbocation, we have only 1 methyl group, and here there is no methyl group attached to it. Directly the carbon atom carrying the positive charge and the 3 hydrogens are there, right? Now, when you see the first structure, students, as I told you that these all are the electron donating groups, and in the starting I told you that the carbon should be neutral in nature. It should not carry any positive charge, it should not carry any negative charge, right? It wants to be in the neutral. Now it is electron deficient, as this positive charge is there, so you can easily understand that this carbon is electron deficient in nature, means it needs electron to get this positive charge, to neutralize this positive charge. It needs the electron. Now from where it will get the electrons to get neutralized? From all these 3 alkyl groups, because they are what? They are having the plus I effect, right? They are all are what? Having plus I effect, and they are electron donating in nature, right? Now from all the 3 sides they will give the electron to this carbon, correct? Now when you see the second structure, in the second structure, it is also, this carbon is also getting neutralized, because this is also electron deficient. It will also need the electron. Again, it is getting the electrons from 2 sides. Here it was getting from all the 3 sides. Now here it is been getting from 2 sides. When you see this, here also this is the 1 CH3 group is there, and this CH2, that is the carbon bearing a positive charge, it will be neutralized by the electrons given by this methyl group, but it is only 1 in number. And here we don't have such group. No plus I group is there that can stabilize the positive charge of this carbon atom. Clear? Now, if I ask you what will be the stability order, because already I have told you that how this carbon bearing a positive charge will attain the stability, and if it is attaining the stability fast, it will be what? If we want to arrange in the stability order, if this is attaining the stability fast, means this will be most stable, right? Now here you are seeing 3 methyl groups are there. So it will attain the stability fast as compared to this one, because it has only two this methyl groups. Here it has only one methyl group. So what will be the stability order, students? 3 degree. Carbocation is more stable than 2 degree, is more stable than 1 degree, and it is more stable than methyl carbocation. Now, simple concept, students. Okay, don't have to mug up. You can just see to it and you can determine the stability. See, in all the three cases, in 3 degree, 2 degree and 1 degree, we have the electron donating group which can neutralize the positive charge of this carbon, or you can say it will stabilize this carbon bearing a positive charge. But the question is, which carbocation will attain the stability fast, means quickly? That is this one, because it is getting the electron, this carbon bearing a positive charge is getting electron from all the three sides. Here it is getting from two sides, here only from one side, and here we don't have. So this will be what? It will be the least stable one, or you can say highly unstable one, this methyl carbocation. And this is the most stable one, you can say. So this is the stability order, students. This one I have written, this is the stability order. Now you have seen this in the first application, that we have this written this stability order with the help of what? With the help of the inductive effect. Already we have studied the plus I and the minus I. We know about the groups that shows the plus I effect and that shows the minus I effect. So first what we have done, we have just recognized the group that is directly bonded to this carbon bearing the positive charge, right? And based on that, we have written this stability order. So ultimately you have applied what? Inductive effect in telling the stability of this carbocation. Okay, so hope you have understood this. Now one general example, if there is any doubt in you, if you have not understood, one general example I am telling you, this is a general example you can say. Suppose I have 3 tanks, right? You will get it completely now. If suppose in this tank, this is the water tank, right? And these are all the inlets. These are the inlets from where the water can go inside and can fill the tank. Suppose this is tank A, this is tank B, this is tank C. Now here you are seeing that the water is going inside from all the 3 sides. Clear? Here the water is going from 2 sides. And here the water is going from 1 side. And the last tank that doesn't have any inlets. Right? Now, if I will ask you which tank will fill first, of course you will see your answer will be what? That will be A. Why? Because the water in this tank has been filled from all the 3 sides, because it has 3 inlet pipes. All the 3 pipes are filling the water in this tank. So in the same way, all the 3 will be attaining the stability because they have the electron donating group. But which will attain the stability fast? That is the thing. And based on that, you are arranging it in the order of what? The stability order of this carbocations. So hope you have understood this, students. So this is the first application of it, right? Now let us see the second one. Now second one, it is similar to this like this carbocation, students. Okay, the same explanation, everything remains the same. I will just give you the hint and you can write the stability order by yourself. Okay, because it is same. There is no difference at all. Stability of free radicals. Stability of free radicals. Now, as I told you in the starting of this topic, that the free radicals means what? Carbon carries 1 electron. Okay, unpaired electrons. So this 1 electron is there. That is also what this is known as what? Free radical. Okay, this is free radical. This is also what? Electron. This is also electron deficient. Okay, this is also electron deficient. It also needs the electron, right, to get itself stabilized. Clear? So now, free radicals in the same way I can make here, suppose CH3, CH3 and CH3. We have one CH, here I can write CH3, CH3, one electron. Here I can write CH2, CH3, and here at last I will write CH3, free radical. Right? This is the 3 degree, this is 2 degree, this is 1 degree, and this is what? Methyl free radical. This is 3 degree free radical, 2 degree free radical, 1 degree free radical, and this is the methyl free radical. And you know why I am telling this 3 degree? Because this is the carbon carrying the free radical and directly linked to this 3 carbon. Here it is directly linked to the 2 carbon. Here it is directly linked to the 1 carbon, and here there is no other carbon to which this carbon carrying a free radical is directly connected. Clear? So now if you have, I told you that the same concept will be applied what we have applied for the stability of the carbocation. There is no difference at all. The same thing. There you are providing the electron to neutralize the positive charge over there, and here you are providing the electron to neutralize what? To give the electrons to this carbon having the free radical, because this free radical is also electron deficient. It needs the electrons to get itself stabilized. Okay, in the same manner, the same explanation, it will get the electrons from all the 3 sides. Okay, it will get from what? It will get from the 2 sides. Here it will get from 1 side, and here we don't have any electron donating group, because all 3 are what? These all 3 are the electron donating group having plus I effect. These all 3 are having the plus I effect. Okay, I am writing here plus I effect. All alkyl groups, they are having the plus I effect. They all are electron donating in nature. But the thing is, more the number of carbon atoms that is attached to this alkyl group, the magnitude of plus I effect will increase. Okay, for example, if I have CH3 and I have CH3, CH2, like this. This is methyl, this is ethyl. So if I will ask you which will show the more plus I effect, of course the answer will be second. This is also the plus I, but this is more. Why? Because the number of carbon atoms is more than in this one. This is having 2 carbon atoms, and here it is having only 1 carbon atom. So as the number of carbon atom increases in the alkyl group, the magnitude of the positive I effect increases. Always remember. Clear? So this was the stability of the free radical. So if you want to arrange this, how we will arrange this? Again, the stability order will be what? 3 degree. Free radical is more than the 2 degree, then the 1 degree, and at last it is the methyl free radical. This is the order. You can write here stability order. Stability order of the free radicals. Hope it is very much clear to you, students. In the same way, as I told you, this is the second application. Okay. So first, if you understood the first application, definitely we are going to study, you will understand the second applications, right? Because both are the same. Only the intermediates are different. These are all the reaction intermediates. These free radicals, carbocations, carbon ions. Okay. So that you have to check whether that particular free radicals or the carbocation that is electron deficient or electron rich. Based on that, what are the groups that are attached to that free radicals? Whether that group is the plus I or is the minus I. Based on that. Clear? Now, let us see the third one. Now the third application, students, the third application is what? That is the third application is C is what? Acidity of carboxylic acids and phenols. Now, if suppose I have acid, that is this is the acid, right? Here whatever you want to making the carboxylic acid, but that is the functional group is what? That is a COOH, right? Now students, before going to this acidity of this carboxylic acid, you know about the acid, that the acid, a good acid is what? That easily releases H plus, okay, which easily release the H plus in the solution. If it is easily releasing the H plus, means we consider that acid as a good acid or a strong acid, right? Now with the same concept. Now here you are seeing this OH group. OH group. This O oxygen is directly linked to this hydrogen. You know the electronegativity of hydrogen is 2.1 and this is what, 3.5, right? Means this is more electronegative than compared to this. So the difference of the electronegativity between the oxygen and the hydrogen, it is making this bond a polar bond. Means here you can write that the OH bond is what? That is the polar bond, right? Means the polarity has been developed. And why the polarity has been developed? Because of the difference in the electronegativity. That is why this bond has become polar, right? Now if we want to release the H from this acid, we want that H plus should move out in the form of a what? Proton. What we can do? If we manage to decrease the polarity of this OH bond, if we manage to decrease the polarity of this OH bond, then easily what will happen? If you are managing it to decrease the polarity of this OH bond, this bond, the bond between this oxygen and hydrogen, this will become weak. Okay, and if this becomes weak, what will happen? This bond will break and hydrogen will move out in the form of H plus. That's what I am telling you, the good acid. That the good acid is those acids which easily releases the H plus in the solution. Now, if you are managing it to decrease the polarity of this OH bond, the bond will become weak and it will break and H can be moved out in the form of H plus. Right. Now the question is how you are going to decrease the polarity of this OH bond. Now let us see with this. Already I have written like this, right? Now here it is what? Here it is what? Minus, because it is highly electronegative atom, oxygen. So it will have the minus charge and this will have the positive charge, hydrogen, right? Now this negative charge magnitude is much more, because this magnitude of this negative charge on this oxygen is holding this hydrogen very tightly, or you can say very strongly. That is why this bond is what? This is a strong bond between them, because of the polarity developed between these two atoms, oxygen and hydrogen. Because of their difference in the electronegativity, the bond is very much strong. It is not easy to break this bond, that hydrogen can move out in the form of a H plus. From that we need to do anything. Means we need to keep any substituent so that we can manage to decrease the negative charge of this oxygen. What ultimately we have to do? We have to decrease the negative charge of this oxygen. How we can do this? Now let us see one example. If suppose I am putting here CH3, right? I am taking one more instant. For example, if I am taking COOH and here I am taking, suppose I am replacing one hydrogen of it and I am writing here CH2, and with this I am writing here suppose or else I will write like this, NO2 CH2, like this. One hydrogen I have taken out and replaced with the NO2, right? Now two instant, I don't know which is more acidic, though both are having the acidic group, means they are acid, but which one is the stronger acid, which is the weaker acid, right? That is my question. Now here there is a negative charge, here also as it is there was a negative charge, right? As I told you that if you manage to decrease the negative charge on this oxygen, the bond between oxygen and hydrogen can become weak, and easily you can remove the hydrogen over here in the form of proton, that is H plus. That's what we need. Here also the same thing. Now what you have to do in this? You have to see the group that is been attached over here. Here you are seeing that this CH3 is group, and you know what is the CH3 group. It will give you plus I or minus I. Just now we have seen that CH3 is the alkyl group, and this alkyl group, it will give what? It will show the plus I effect. Right? Plus I effect. Here this NO2 is there, and you know NO2, it is composed of electronegative atoms. Nitrogen is also electronegative, oxygen is also electronegative. Okay, so both are highly electronegative atom, and both have mixed together to form this molecule, that is the NO2, nitro group. So this is what this is having the minus I effect. Okay, so students, if you have any doubt in the understanding the plus I and minus I, you can refer my previous video lecture. Right, there I have talked about the plus I and the minus I group, and what are the different type of the inductive effects. There I have dealt with the plus I and the minus I. There you can check it out. Right, now this NO2 will give you minus I. Plus I means what? Plus I means electron donating group, and minus I means what? That is electron withdrawing group. It will withdraw the electron, means pull the electrons, and this will supply the electron. It will donate, it will release the electrons. Right, now this example and this example, which is more acidic. Right, from this only, if you understand these two examples, you can easily write about the acidic strength of the acids. Now you know this is the electron donating group, it will donate the electrons further. Right, this alkyl group, this is the methyl group here. Now this will donate the electron. What will happen? Already this oxygen is having the negative charge. Okay, because it is highly electronegative, and it is the bond between them is also what? Strong bond, because of their difference in the electronegativity. Already it is electron rich. That's why it is having, this oxygen is having what? Negative charge. And still this plus I group is there, and this plus I group is what? Pumping the electrons or donating the electron to this carbon and then to this oxygen also. So what will happen? The magnitude of the negative charge will increase. And if the magnitude of this negative charge is increasing, means what will happen? If it is increasing, means this bond will become what? Much more stronger than what it was before without this methyl group. Right? Means if this bond will be strong, then what will happen? It will not allow the hydrogen to move out as a proton, because for moving out we have to break this bond, and we can't break this bond. Why? Because this negative is so much intensified. Now it is holding this hydrogen, this oxygen is holding the hydrogen much more strongly. It is holding it much more strongly. You can't break this bond. Correct? Now in this case, when you see here it is the minus I effect, minus I group is there, that is the electron withdrawing groups. It will withdraw the electron, means it will pull the electrons. Now what will happen? This nitro group, it will pull the electrons towards itself. From this carbon to this carbon, again it will come to this oxygen. Now once the electrons are being pulled from this oxygen, what will happen? The magnitude of this negative charge will what happen? It will decrease or increase? Of course it will decrease. Why? Because it was electron rich previously. Now because of this nitro group, it is also the powerful plus minus I effect. Okay, powerful minus I group, electron withdrawing group. So what it will do? It will pull the electrons, and this negative charge means what? That is electron rich. Right? Now the electrons are being pulled towards this nitrogen. It will moving towards the nitrogen, this nitro group. Okay, so what will happen? Ultimately, the magnitude of this negative charge, it will decrease. And ultimately what will happen? Because it is keep pulling up the electrons, so what will happen? Ultimately this will become neutral. And if again from the neutral state, if we are taking out the electrons, oxygen is losing the electrons after becoming the neutral, then it may get converted into what? It get converted into the positive charge. Means the positive charge will come on this oxygen. In doing so, because we have managed to decrease the magnitude of the negative charge on this oxygen, the bond between these two, oxygen and hydrogen, it will become what? It will become weak. Okay, and once the bond has become weak between this oxygen and hydrogen, it is very easy to break this bond. Okay, and if we are managed to break this bond, now this hydrogen will be easily moved out in the form of what? H plus. In this case, we are not able to release this H into H as a H plus. Why? Because the bond holding this OH bond, the bond between them, O and H, is much more stronger because of this. Because it has given the electron. Already this has electron rich, and then also the electrons have been provided, so the magnitude of the negative charge has increased to much extent, and that negative charge magnitude has made this bond also very, very strong. So it is not possible to break this bond and to move this hydrogen in the form of a proton. But in this case, the oxygen magnitude, the negative charge magnitude of this oxygen has become what? Is decreased. And as a result of which, the bond between this oxygen and hydrogen is becoming what? Is becoming weak, and we can easily break this bond. The bond will be broken, and this H will be moved out in the form of H plus. So in this explanation, which can be the good acid, which is having more acidic strength? Of course, this one. Why? Because here the H can be easily moved out in the form of H plus, but in this case the H is not moving out in the form of H plus. So if suppose this is the A and this is B, so I can write that B is more acidic than A. B is more acidic than A. This is the example. And through this you can understand the acidity of carboxylic acid. The same concept you can apply for the phenols also. If you have electron withdrawing substituents and if you have electron donating substituents. Okay, because phenols itself, they are acidic, weakly acidic. Okay, now there also acid strength depend upon the nature of the substituents. That what kind of substituents you have attached with the phenol. If it is the electron donating or it is the electron withdrawing. Depending upon that, it will increase or decrease the acidic strength of the phenol. Right? So, what is the bottom line of all this explanation? Here you can write that the plus I groups decreases the acidic strength of carboxylic acids and phenols, because as I told you, the same concept will be applied. Secondly, minus I groups increases the acidic strength of carboxylic acids and phenols. This is the very, very important point, students. When you have to discuss the acidity of the carboxylic acids and phenol with respect to the substituents, whether that substituents may be having the plus I effect or may be having the minus I effect. Okay, so these 2 points you have to keep in mind. You can give one example, and you know about the explanation also. You have understood the explanation, so you can explain it in your own words, and then you can write this is the main point. Okay. So now, students, let us see the next application, that is the basicity of amines. So the amines are basic in nature, that is NH2 amines. The general formula of amines is NH2. Okay, it has a lone pair of electrons. So when we say the basicity of amines, these are basic in nature. So we will talk about the basic strength of the amines. Okay, we will have a different amines. So that amines which is more basic in nature and which is less basic in nature, means the relative basic strength we will come to know about from this. Now, before going to this, let us know the conditions for the basicity of amines. Basicity of amines. Right? And what are the conditions that needs to be followed? Okay. So basicity of amines depend upon the two conditions, and that two condition must be satisfied. If the two conditions are been satisfied, then we can say that that particular amine is basic in nature, or it is more basic. Right? First condition is there should be the presence of lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen atom. Now this is the first condition, students, that there should be the presence of lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen atom. Right? Next condition says that the electron density on the nitrogen atom must be high. Means if the two conditions are been satisfied, okay, then that particular amines will be more basic, means relatively more basic than the other. First is what? That is the presence of a lone pair of electrons. And if the first condition, students, when you see both the conditions, if the first condition is been satisfied, automatically second condition will be fulfilled. Right? Because the second condition depends upon what? First condition. Because lone pair itself is having its own electron density apart from the atom where it is been placed. Right? Now these are the two conditions for the basicity of amines. Now let us see with the example, and with the example you can come to know that how this basicity of amines are governed by the inductive effect. Okay. Now let us see with the example now. Now suppose I am taking one example, that is CH3NH2. Another example I am taking CH3CH2NH2. And the third example I am taking NH2. Right? This is A, this is B, and this is C. Already we know the conditions. Okay, the two conditions that needs to be fulfilled. Then we can say that that particular amine is more basic with respect to the other. Right? Now when you see all three structures, what is common? The common is this NH2, the presence of this NH2 group. In all the three you have this NH2 group. See, NH2. This is common. And all the NH2 group are having the lone pair. On the nitrogen we have the lone pair of electrons. This also has a lone pair of electrons. This is also having a lone pair of electrons. So by seeing the NH2 we cannot determine the basicity of amines. We cannot arrange it in the order of the basicity. Right? For that what we have to see? We have to see next that what is the substituent that is been attached to this NH2. Because that is a common one. Right? So now let us see this. Now here we have in the first case CH3. What we have? We have the CH3. Now this CH3, students, this is having the plus I effect. You know this. This is having plus I effect. Means this is what? Electron donating group. Clear? Here it is also having, we have CH3, CH2. Now this is also having what? Plus I effect. And it is also the electron donating group. Now in this case, in the C, we have this phenyl ring is there. We have the phenyl ring. And this phenyl ring will give you the minus I effect. This is giving the minus I effect. If I am saying minus I means what kind of group it will be? Electron withdrawing group. Electron withdrawing group. Right? Right? Now here, you see here, you can differentiate between all these three. This is plus I, this is a methyl, again it will give the electron to this nitrogen. Already it has a lone pair of electron, the first criteria has been satisfied, means lone pair is there, nitrogen itself having electron density. Presence of a lone pair, that is an additional electron density. Why? Because a lone pair of electron is also having its own electron density. But what is the role of this methyl group? This methyl group is electron donating in nature. Means this methyl group is also donating the electron to this nitrogen. Okay, means already it is electron rich, and now this methyl group is also giving the electron to this nitrogen. So what will happen? The electron density, lone pair already present there on the nitrogen. Now further the electron densities on the nitrogen will be what? It will be more high. Okay, it will be much more higher. Why? Because this is the electron donating group which is giving the electron to this nitrogen. Electron density means what? That is the concentration of the electron, how much electron it has. If you are saying high electron density means it has more electrons. Less electron density means deficiency of electrons. Correct? Now let us see the second case. In this second case we have what? CH3CH2. Right? CH3CH2. As I have told you in the previous application, that more the number of carbon atoms in the alkyl group, more will be the magnitude of the plus I effect. Now this, when you see this one and this one, both are the plus I group and both are the electron donating group. But the magnitude of the plus I group or the plus I effect will be more in what? This one. Why? Because it has two carbons, CH3, CH2. Right? Now it will also give the electrons to this nitrogen. Now when you compare this one and this one, where the electron density on this nitrogen will be much more high or the highest among this and this? Of course this one. Why? Because here there is a senior plus I group. Okay, so it will donate the electron much more than compared to this one. This is a junior one as compared to this. Correct? So here also the nitrogen electron density is the highest with comparing A and B. Right? Now coming to the third. Third is having the minus I effect, means electron withdrawing group. Electron withdrawing means electron pulling. Okay, it will pull the electron towards itself from the nitrogen. When it pulls the electron, what will happen? This lone pair of electron will also be no longer be present on the nitrogen. Okay, it is also taken by this phenyl ring. Okay, and this electrons from the nitrogen are also been pulled to this phenyl group. Means this phenyl ring having minus I effect, it is pulling the electrons from the nitrogen as well as the lone pair of electron. Means ultimately the electron density on this nitrogen will be what? Less. It will be less. So we, by this three structure, we can say that the C is what? C is the least basic. Why? Because the electron density on this nitrogen is less, and what we have read the two conditions, that the electron density should be high, not less. So by seeing the three structure, we can say C is the least basic. Okay, now coming to A and B, already this is also having the high electron density and this is also having the high electron density, but which is having more electron density between A and B? Of course, as this is the senior plus I group and having the more plus I effect, so this will be what? The electron density of this nitrogen will be the highest as compared to the A. So the next will be what? It will be B is more than A, and at last comes the C, because this is having the minus I effect. So the answer will be what? Based on this, the answer will be B is more basic than A and A is more basic than C. This is the order of the basic strength of these three, A, B, C. All three are the amines. Clear? Now one more example I will tell you. For example, if I am giving the example like this, suppose this is the phenyl ring having NH2, we have 1, 2, 3 NH, lone pair of electron here also, and here we have CH3, CH2, NH2 having the lone pair of electron. Now this is A, this is B, and this is C. Now the question is, among this A, B and C, which is the most basic and which is the least basic? So you need to arrange it, starting from the more basic towards the least basic. Right? Now when you see the structure, you will find what? Here is the presence of what? Plus I or minus I. That is the minus I, because this is the phenyl ring as you have seen here. Means this will pull the electron towards itself. In this case also, here we have the minus I. Both the minus I groups are there, but they are like 2 in number. This is also the phenyl ring, and this is also the phenyl ring. Means the nitrogen will lose the electrons, or these two phenyl group will pull the electrons. Each phenyl ring will pull the electrons. Means the electron density will be lowest in this case, you can say, as compared to this one. Because here only one phenyl ring is there, here 2 phenyl rings are there. So it will lose to much more extent, and the electron density will be least in this. Clear? Now coming to this C. C, you are seeing this is the aliphatic amine. This is aromatic amines. Both are aromatic because we have the presence of aromatic ring. Here these are the aliphatic amines. To this aliphatic amines, there is a lone pair of electron also. And this CH3, CH2 having the plus I effect, it will donate the electron. Thus, it is increasing the electron density on this nitrogen. There is the presence of lone pair also. Lone pair also not gone anywhere. Okay, it has not been pulled. Now, further the electrons have been given to this nitrogen, means it is what this nitrogen will be. The electron density on this nitrogen will be the highest. Clear? Now, if you have to arrange it, C will be what? C will be the highest. Much more basic. Then comes what? Then comes A, and at last is the B. This is the order. So based on the plus I and the minus I, you have given this answer. When you have the aromatic amines, you can also use the concept of resonance. Okay, apart from the inductive effect, though we are studying the applications of the inductive effect, you can also give through the resonance also. Okay, how you can give it? Because this system is a conjugated system. Conjugated means double, single, lone pair of electrons. Means if the system is like this, it can easily undergo what? Resonance. How it will be? This lone pair of electron will take part in the conjugation. It will come down and this will follow this. In doing so, in taking part of the resonance, this lone pair of electron is now no longer available on this nitrogen. Means the first criteria has been cancelled. Okay, it has not followed the first criteria or the first condition that I have told you, that there should be the presence of lone pair of electron. Now, if it has taken part, the lone pair has taken part in the conjugation, means this nitrogen has no longer the lone pair of electron present on it. Right? So, first condition has been cancelled. Automatically, the second condition also stands cancelled. Because the first condition, the second one is depending upon the first. Because lone pair of electron, it itself also having its own electron density. In this case also, it can undergo the resonance this side also by like this, or it can undergo like this also. Means both the sides we have a conjugated ring, the conjugated system, double, single, double. Here also this lone pair, single, double, lone pair, single, double. So it can undergo resonance 2 times. Okay, and here we don't have. There is no conjugated system. We have only this lone pair of electron, and here we have the sigma bonds or the single bonds. There is no conjugated systems. Okay. Now, what is the bottom line of all the explanation, students, that I am telling you? These are 3 points I will tell you, and that 3 points you have to keep in your mind while writing the explanation and while writing the examples for it. What are the 3 points? That are, first point is what? That the plus I groups increases the basic strength of amines. Second point, minus I groups decreases the basic strength of amines. And the last point, as we have seen in the example, we have seen the aliphatic also amines and the aromatic amines also. So in general, aliphatic amines are more basic than the aromatic amines. Okay, so these 3 points that you need to remember every time while dealing with the basicity of amines. That the plus I group, it will increase the basic strength, as you have seen with the example I have explained you. Second point says the minus I group will decrease the basic strength or the basicity of the amines. And the third point, that the aliphatic amines are more basic than that of the aromatic amines. That also you have seen with the example. Okay, so this is all about the basicity of amines, students. The last application for this inductive effect is the use in the substitution reaction. Now we will see the use of this inductive effect in the substitution reaction, that is the SN1 SN2. So what is the use of this inductive effect in the substitution reaction? By applying this inductive effect, we can understand the rate of this substitution reaction, that which substitution reaction will occur fast. Okay, now let us see this. With the example we can say, you know that the substitution reaction is what? If we are writing like this, suppose OH minus is there, what will happen? It will be ROH plus Cl minus. This is the substitution reaction that you know, right? RCl, that is the alkyl halide. This OH minus is the nucleophile. So substitution means what? Replacement. You can say the replacement. Okay. Now here I am changing it. That is the use in the substitution. This is the last application, students, of this inductive effect. Use in substitution reaction, SN1 and SN2. Okay, so here we have seen this reaction. I have written this reaction, that this is the alkyl halide, okay, the substrate that is used for this SN1 SN2 reaction, and this is the nucleophile OH minus. This OH minus has taken the place of this Cl minus, Cl. Okay, and this Cl is acting as a good leaving group. It has detached itself from this alkyl group as a Cl minus, and this, in place of this Cl, we have replaced with this OH. That is the substitution reaction. Now, using the inductive effect, we can tell that which among the following, if I will give you 2 to 3 reactions, and if I am asking you which reaction will occur fast, all 3 are the substitution reaction, right? But which will be occurring fast? Okay, at the faster rate, which will give the product? Okay, so that will be governed with the help of the inductive effect. Now we will see that how it will be. Now I am writing the example. For example, suppose I have CH3, Cl, and I am writing here OH minus. With the example only you can understand easily. Now the next I am writing here CH3, CH, Cl. This is OH minus. Means the nucleophile I have kept the same. I have changed the nature of the alkyl halide, but I have not changed the nucleophile. Nucleophile remains the same, and this halide also, that remains the same. Only I have changed the nature of the carbon atoms, or you can say the nature of the alkyl halide. Right? Now let us see how we will say which one is the, suppose this is A and this is B. My question is what? My question is which among the 2 reaction will occur fast? Okay, occur fast means how quickly it will give the product, substituted product. Now, here you understand like this, students, that in this alkyl halide, when you are talking about the SN1 reaction, it is two-step reaction, and there there is a formation of what? There is a formation of the carbocation. And how that carbocation is being formed, that that the Cl is going out in the form of a Cl, means the halide is going out in the form of halide ion, right? Leaving behind the positive charge on the carbon. Means here we have the positive, I can say. Right? Here also, if this will be detached, here we have the positive. Now the faster reaction means what? That R plus, if I am taking for the alkyl, or this like this I am taking R plus, means we have to stabilize this positive charge on the carbon. If we are stabilizing the positive charge on the carbon, then it will be very easy for removing the leaving group in the form of its ion. Means the halide is there, so it will move out in the form of halide ion. Okay, for that, removing it, for the easy removal of this leaving group, what we have to do? We have to stabilize the positive charge of this on the carbon atom. Now the question is how we can stabilize. That that how to stabilize the positive charge. We have seen the application, the first application, that is the stability of the carbocation. There we have stabilized the carbon carrying the positive charge, that is the carbocation. In the same way, we are going to stabilize the positive charge of this carbon. And if we manage to stabilize the positive, how quickly we are stabilizing this positive charge of this carbon, then that will depend upon what? That depends of this Cl minus to be removed from here. Okay, how easily we are providing the stability to this positive charge, carrying the carbon carrying the positive charge, there will be the easy removal of that leaving group. Okay, now we will see where we can stabilize the positive charge much more quickly, so that in that case we can easily remove the leaving group, and then the substitution can be done very easily and fast. Right? Now in the first case, you see here we have 1 and 2 alkyl groups are there, because here this is the carbon carrying the positive charge, this is the halide. Here we have 2 methyl groups. In these 2 methyl groups, what is the nature of this methyl group? That is the electron donating groups. This is also electron donating group having plus I effect. Right? Both the methyl groups are there, plus I effect, and both are the electron donating group. What it will do? We have to stabilize the positive charge of the carbon. Positive means electron deficient. How we can stabilize it? By converting into neutral, because the carbon is meant to be neutral. And if it is positive, we can supply the electron to make it neutral. Or if it is having the negative charge, we can take out the electrons to make it neutral. Neutral means we have stabilized it. Right? Now, what we will do? This CH3, it will provide the electrons to this carbon. Here also the CH3, it will provide the electron to this carbon. Means from both the methyl groups, electrons have been donated to this carbon atom carrying the positive charge. Here in this case, to neutralize the positive charge or to stabilize this positive charge of the carbon atom, only one methyl group is there. Here we have 2 and here we have 1. So just remember the same concept. I have given you one general example also. In the first, that is the when I was dealing with the stability of the carbocation and the free radicals. Right? So here, which will attain the stability fast? Which positive charge will be attaining the stability fast? Of course, this one. Why? Because the electrons have been donated from both the sides. So it will attain the stability quickly as compared to this one. This will also attain the stability. But as compared to this one, it will attain the stability slowly. And this will attain the stability very fast. Because both sides, electron donating groups are there, and they are donating the electrons to make it neutral. And as soon as this positive charge has been stabilized, this Cl will be moving out itself. It will detach from this carbon atom and it will move out in the form of Cl minus. And it will give the chance of this OH minus to attack here. It will take the place of this chlorine. Clear? Means the product will be what? The product will be CH3, CH, CH3, and here we will have the OH. Clear? And here also, because we have to what we have to do, we don't have to see the product. Product will be formed in both the cases. But what we want to know, which reaction will be fast, where the product will be made fast. Okay, so this one, A is much more than B. means the product will be fast. You can write here fast reaction. Means the substituted product what we will get in A will be the fast. Means easily we will get the substituted product. Here we will get the substituted product, but it will be slow as compared to this one. And the reason I have stated here. The only thing you need to remember is to stabilize the carbon carrying the positive charge. Okay, and how quickly you are stabilizing the positive charge. Okay, the easy removal of this halide ion depends upon how quickly this positive charge is being stabilized. And that depends upon what? That is the plus I and the minus I. Which kind of group is there? Whether it is stabilizing or destabilizing. And if the alkyl groups are present, that is they are stabilizing the positive charge by donating the electron. How many? Is it the tertiary alkyl halide you have taken, secondary you have taken, primary you have taken? In case of primary, it will be slow. Tertiary will be fast because it is being stabilized from all the three sides. Okay, so this is the use of this inductive effect in the substitution reaction in telling how fast it will give the substituted product. And this was the explanation with the example. So students, hope you have understood this. Okay, so this is all about the this inductive effect applications. I hope you have understood this. And if you like my lecture, do like it, share it and subscribe my channel. And do share it with the students who are in need for these organic chemistry topics. Okay, in the next lecture video, I will come with the other interesting topic of the organic chemistry. Okay, and if you have any doubts, you can write there in the comment section. And if you want any other topic to be dealt, a new topic that you want to get it dealt in the video lecture, you can also write there in the comment section. Okay, till then, thank you very much.